Getting a root flag can be this easy.
Come on. Yes. So we logged in. That's good. That's good. That's good. So yes, we get the user flag. So cat user.txt. Fine. And then press enter. And there we go. So we get the root flag.
Only if you're willing to stick to me till the end.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pranavara, and in today's video I'll be showcasing a room of TryHackMe called as Robots. So let's dive into the challenge here. Okay, so looking at my screen here, you can see that it's categorized under medium and it says it requires around 2 hours to complete this particular room. And also I have finished solving this room, so I thought I'll just showcase it to you all here. So let's click on the start machine, and till the time it shows us the IP address, let's set up other things such as connecting to their network to be able to access their machines. So it's open VPN file. So I will say sudo open VPN and then browse to my location where I've saved the VPN files. Click on OK. And yeah, I'm able to see the magical words initialization sequence completed. That's good. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Now, I'll also open up a note making app. I personally use Obsidian. You can use any app which you would like to use. It does not matter, but then making notes matters. So, yeah, I use Obsidian. Now, if you're wondering where can you find the same commands and all those things, it's uploaded in my personal blog post page where I upload my blogs and other kinds of things. It's the domain can be found in the description below, or you can browse to pranavara.tech under the blog section and try hack me walkthroughs. You will find the same blog post updated there. Okay, so I will not go deep into it, but then yeah, so you can make your notes. I'll open my other vault which I just created some time ago, which says robots.thm. So this is the folder where I'll be making my notes and all those things for this particular room here. Okay, so that's good. I have already I created a folder for this in my terminal here. Let's just browse there. Uh, to YouTube, I guess that was the folder robots. Yeah, here. Okay, so let's remove the exploit.js and shell.php here, because this is not the first take of recording which I am doing. I had almost finished my recording, but then there was a lot of issue with my network, and the VM was acting a little weird, so I had to re-record this. So this is the second take of me recording this particular machine again. So yeah. Okay, without me talking too much, let's copy the IP address here and then start solving this. So the first step is to identify what are the ports, what operating system, what services, what are the version numbers that this particular target system is running, right? So for that, I use a tool called as Nmap for scanning and analyzing what and all ports and services are running in my target system. So in long form, it's called as network mapper. In short, it's Nmap. So that's a tool which is used by penetration testers, hackers, and even network administrators for analyzing and understanding about that target system. So I will use that tool. There are a lot of switches which we can be using with Nmap for having analysis of our target system, which is printed on my terminal here using the help section. But then I will not be using all of these switches here. I go with my default switches, which is first thing is to perform script scan with the option called as -sc, which is to say that, hey, you run a default scripts which are all pre-built in with Nmap. So they're just going to be looking for the banners or some default locations or something like that with the target system, and then it's going to give out the information for the ports whichever is open. So it's going to do that option. I want that one. And then I want to look for the versions of the services that is running. For example, if there's SSH open, so what version of SSH is running there, or if there's a web application, what web application service version is running there, and all those information there. Usually with the CTFs like TryHackMe and Hack the Box, There are not exactly exploits related to the version numbers of it, but then it might come in handy if you know of information of it. So that's the reason I use hyphen sv for the version. Then I would like to get the verbose output of it, then t5 to get a fast scan result of the nmap scan. I don't want it to take an entire day scanning for the ports and all such informations of it, so I would just want it to be quick. So that's what is my default switches that I use. I usually love to save the output of the results, whatever I get, because I don't want to be rescanning it once again if I ever want it in the future. But then since I'm just showcasing it and I've already solved it, I don't want to save that output and all those things here. So yeah, that is it. So I will press on enter. That straight away starts scanning for the target system's ports, which are all open in the target system. And on top here, we can see 3 ports to be visible here: the port 22, port 80, and port 9000. Now, port 22 is typically for SSH services. So if you're running SSH service in your target system, port 22 is a default port where that service is going to be running. So that's what it has identified here. And from the results that we have got, we are able to see that port 22 is running OpenSSH, which is for SSH service itself. So SSH is basically for if you want to connect your target system in with a remote access or through remote medium, so you can use SSH for connecting it there. Now port 80 is for HTTP. That's the default port if you're running any HTTP services or anything like that. Port 80 is going to be the port which is going to be default enabled here. We have also got some output, so it has tried to grab the banners of it or anything like that. So it says it's running Apache 2.4.61 on a Debian base, which means that it's running a Linux system. And it tried with some post and get methods for the headers of it, and it says that's forbidden. So straight off it says something is not accessible, so that's the title of it. And it has also tried to capture some robots.txt file. Oh, that's good. So the contents of it are 3 disallowed entries, and it is just showcasing it there. We will manually go there and look into it. So but then we know that now robots.txt file exists. That's good. Port 9000, that's not a common port which is usually open, and that too here it says it's for HTTP and running on the same Apache service. That's not a port which is by default enabled any of the services. So it might be a curious page that we might go and just look into it. Looking at the headers and the titles, it says the default page, it works, which is the Apache's default page for accessing it. Okay, so now let's go forward with the analysis and reconnaissance of this particular target system. To start with, I will not start with SSHs because SSH requires a combination of username and the password to be able to look into it and then exploit or perform any of the scannings here, because I clearly don't have any username or the password given by the challenge itself. So the next best option is to go with the port 80, which is the HTTP service. Now to access it, I will use the domain name for it instead of the IP address. I will assign a domain name locally. So I will use a method of assigning a domain name by editing the etc host file. So sudo nano slash etc host, and then I will copy the IP address of this target system and replace it with the one which I have already had before. So I'll replace the IP address with the current IP address. So let's remove that IP and then replace it with this one. And then a domain name is going to be robots.thm. So I will copy this domain name also. Let's copy that. So now exit our editor. So if you print out the contents of the etc host, so we can see that robots.thm is assigned to this IP address. So what we'll do is browse to our browser here. In the URL, I will type http and then robots.thm and press enter. Straight off it says forbidden. So that's what even our nmap scan gave us. I don't know why that is, which means that robots.thm/index.html or PHP is disabled for any public viewers to view at it. Okay, so let's go to the robots.txt page and see what we have here. So straight away we get three folders which is disabled from the search engine. So the main purpose of a robots.txt page is so that if you have a search engine or any indexing mechanism which is used by search engines, it is saying that please don't show the following directories or locations in your index results. So if I Google something up and I don't want some folders to be visible on the search index, so I will say with the robots.txt file, disallow these files. So that's what the robot.txt file is meant for, which for attackers is a good treasure, because what are you trying to hide from us? That's what will be the thought of it. Okay, so we see three folders and files here. It says harming humans, ignoring human orders, harm to self. That username seems to be a little bit of off here. I mean, why harming humans, right? That seems to be a little bad folders. Why we are innocent humans? Are you planning for something like Terminator? I don't know. So let's copy that. No, let's replace robots.txt with this content of this folder. So let's see what is there in that folder. So let's press enter, and it says forbidden. So which means we still don't have access to this folder here. Okay, what about ignoring human orders folder? So bad of you, robots. For sure, they're planning for some kind of suspicious thing against us. So browsing there, it's forbidden. No wonder why it's forbidden. Ignoring human orders, harming humans. So bad. Okay, so harm to self seems to be a good thing if you're planning for something bad. So harm yourself, who cares? So let's try to browse that location. Oh, yeah. So straight away we get a page that recruitment campaign. Register here and login. And admin monitors new users. So which means that this particular page is accessible to us to interact with and do something with it. So good. Let's see. Let's try to explore this page. Let's say register here. And for the username, I'll say hacker. Date of birth, mine is... I was born this year, so let's say this date. And in this, there's a message says your initial password will be MD5 with. Okay, so they're giving us a function that username plus date and month is going to be the username. Sorry, the password of us. So that's going to be our password. Okay, I understand. So click on submit query. By doing that, it just reflects back to the page. So let's log in here. Let's give the username as hacker, and for the password, let's generate a password of it. So they've given us the logic how the password is going to be generated. Let's do that here. So let's say hacker in the input box, hacker, and then since they're going to just be taking the date and month with the username, so that's the logic which is there. So we'll have that there, and then it says MD5. So let's drag it and drop it here. So this is the hash which is going to be our password. Let's copy that and then paste it here, then submit query, and we are logged in. That's good. So it says last logged in and a log out button which maybe logs us out, and it says admin last login. Okay, I did not log in as an admin, but a message is shown saying that admin was last logged in at this time. Okay, which is currently our date and time. It's similar, it's somewhat matches to it. So okay, that's good. So it says user 3, which means I'm the third user who has logged in, and my username is presented here, hacker last login. Okay, that's good. What about server info? I see a link in the top. Opening that, it gives us a PHP info file. Oh, that's great. I mean, by itself, by the nature of it being present there, there is no harm or risk in such. But whenever we go for audits or any such locations, we say that exposing this is low risk. But then it depends on the situation that this page is visible to the user or the attacker here. But then because it gives a lot of information about the system. So if reading this itself, it says it's a Linux robots.thm, which means that it has been assigned a domain name by itself in the etc host file of the system. That's going to be, the domain name is going to be robots.thm, and it's a Ubuntu machine. It's running on a Docker. Okay, so this particular web page is hosted on a Docker file. We can see it from here, and some configurations of it, and all such information is just present in this page. You can even look for the cookies of the page here. So yeah, HTTP cookies, you can see that information. So all such information is just present in this file, which makes it kind of risk, but then by nature itself it's not vulnerable to anything. So it just gives the attacker some sensitive information about the target system, but not presently leading into any exploits or anything like that. But we can keep this in our mind, saying that there is a login.php file there. But my question is, okay, so I see the admin is logged in, and other thing that I see is the username to be present here. So what if I'm thinking, is there any filters for the login username to be present on the screen? So it says hacker here. Is it like filtering? Can I try to get some cross-site scripting, or can I do some SQL injection against this particular login feature or displaying of the username here? So let's try it out. So let's log out and build a script for trying to see if there's any cross-site scripting or not. So let's come to our notes app here, and let's say script. I'll be trying to perform a cross-site scripting initially. So script, and then I'll also close the script tag. It's my nature of programming. So whenever I do some programming or anything like that, I start and close the parameters of switches like that. So just in case I don't forget to close it in the end. So here I'll say alert that hacker was here, and he might still be there, still might be there. So let's make sure this message goes to the server, and let's see, do we get any alert or not. The reason why I usually choose a text format as an alert is that because by giving quotes, double quotes or single quotes, there might be some database reacting differently, because right now the whatever method we are trying to exploit is the second order SQL injection, sorry, a second order cross-site scripting. It's basically stored cross-site scripting. It's like information is stored and then it's reflecting back again. So maybe it is stored in the database. Maybe there might be some configuration, the way how it's going to be pulling out information from the database. To make sure that I get to know clearly about it, I use double quotes or strings as my payload. Okay, so let's register a user with this date of birth also and submit the query there. And now login, I'll paste in the script that I had just registered with. And for the purpose of password, let's replace this hacker content with this whole thing, with along with the same date of birth parameters, and paste it in as a password and submit the query. So what do we get here when I click on the submit query option? It's page is loading, which seems something off. Let's try refreshing the other page. Oh no, hope this is not the issue that I faced during my previous recording. Also, let's refresh the network. I just want to get done with this. So yeah, maybe there's some issue with the network. So straight away it says hacker was here, and he might be still here, which means that cross-site scripting is available. Oh, that's great. That's good. So nice that cross-site scripting is available in this page, and I don't see any information. So which means that cross-site scripting page, whatever came in, was during when it was trying to load for the information on this page. So if I look at the source code of it, so I can see that it added in a tag of script alert and whatever we wanted it to show as a message here. So this potentially means that we can run any script which might lead us into doing something harmful for this system. Okay, but what next, right? I see that admin page is present here, and the admin is logging in to the computer at some interval in time. So my thing or my point is, what if I become the admin? right? So that could be the best way to exploit this machine, because I don't see anything else to go forward with into this system. There is no other files or anything like that I can try to interact with. So let's fuzz to see if there are any other pages. Maybe admin has a different page when they log in, or we might find some page that we might further go into for exploiting this. So I'll use a tool called as Puff. Others can use like GoBuster or anything like that. Basically, it's my personal preferences. Others might use anything else. I'll be showcasing with Puff itself. So it's for fuzzing in for some files. So I will select a word list of files, common popular files that is present for fuzzing in. So I use sec list. Let's browse to that folder here. So fuzzing list, sec list, and discovery, web content, raft, medium. It's my choice of selecting in the file. You can choose whichever you want. I go with the raft medium files.txt file itself for my fuzzing in of the files in web browsers. Now for the host, I will specify this URL, and then instead of the index.php, that's the parameter I want to fuzz in for any files or anything like that. So let's press enter, and that straight away starts for fuzzing it. So we see register.php. That's what was the page that we registered our username with. And config.php. Okay, that's new. Let's copy that URL and then see, can we get some configurations of it? So it gives a blank page to us. What about the source code of it? No, it's a blank page that we are able to see here. What about index.php? Yeah, we have already interacted with the index.php. Nothing much there. Logout.php just logs us out. Login.php, that's the page that we just logged in. Oh, curious page, admin.php. That's nice. Can I become the admin here? Browsing that. Okay. Okay, I seem that there is some issue with my network once again. I just have to refresh it once again. There's some issue with it. So after this recording and after I finish it, I will just try to fix with that or deal with that. But it says not authorized. Okay, it doesn't surprise me why it says not authorized, which means that we already have a admin page in the server, which we can somehow try to log in if we get to know the admin's password or anything like that. I'm doubting that admin will be using the same logic of this thing as the admin and the maybe that the date of birth or anything like that. We can try to brute force for it. But then since we already have cross-site scripting enabled in this target browser, so what if I try to do some cookie hijacking or session hijacking of the admin user with the cross-site scripting vulnerability? So that will be the best thing, to capture the PHP session ID of the admin user, whoever is present in the system, and then log into them as here. So let's make sure that it's available to us. I opened the tool developer. That is, I use the shortcut key, but you can click on that hamburger icon, then go to more tools, and under web develop tools, you will find this same page under storage and cookies. So to make sure that cross-site scripting to get the cookies is possible, I will, if you come here and see, it says HTTP only. So it's a tag which says that it is going to be disabling any of the parameters of scripts running to capture cookies of it. So it's a security feature to disable any of the scripting languages to capture any PHP cookies or session IDs or anything like that, which was being transferred from the server to the client end. So it has a security built in here, which means that a traditional cross-site scripting for capturing the cookies is not possible. But then if you come here and see, it says server info.php. The reason that I told you that by nature itself, this is not vulnerable or does not contain any risk. But then when you have this page showcased, you can bypass this security of HTTP only. which is that I can try to get the information from the PHP file here or the session PHP, because there is no restrictions that can be put for the contents of the file that is shown here, right? So that will be our way of exploiting it. So what if we generate a PHP script, or sorry, what if we generate a script to get the information from this PHP info page, right? That will be the best way to capture the PHP cookie, whatever we need for becoming the admin page. So if I search, why am I opening this? So if I search for cookies, you can see that it is already shown here, PHP session ID, and whatever content is here is already present in this page. But then this is of our user. When I perform a cross-site scripting, that's going to be generated from the end of the server, because that's being stored there. Whatever is being loaded here, if you look at the source code, is being loaded from the end of the server itself, not by us. So that would be the best way to get the cookie of the admin user. So let's try that. Let's go to Hacktricks and search for some payloads for cross-site scripting, where we can try to get the contents of the web page. Here, let's go and search for the cross-site scripting. Let's let that page open. I hope it's not the issue with the network once again. So let's refresh that network. I've been facing a lot of issue with Kali Linux not exactly working the way I wanted to work. Okay, so fine. Here I will search for cross-site scripting XSS, and then probably cookies. Yeah, cookie.xss. And basically, since the traditional way would not work here, what I want to do is to get the contents of that PHP file. So let's scroll down. Somewhere here they say about grabbing in the contents. So steel page contents here. So let's go for this payload. So let's copy this payload and modify it to according to our way how we want it to be. So let's paste that content here and put it under the tag of the code. Let's just refresh. I mean, take it here and then paste it in here. Okay, so we have this payload. So what I want to do is that I want it to fetch from this location the PHP info server info PHP URL. So I will replace this content of the URL to be here. This page's contents I want to be capturing from, and here the attacker's IP address, I will change it to my IP address. So 10.17.18.22, and exfil is just a random name which is given for the payload or that variable to interact with us. So here what it is doing, it's setting up a new variable to get for the request of the XML pages with HTTP, like HTTP and XML responses is going to capture that request. And then after getting that function, after getting that request, it's going to be passing that content, whatever it received from the contents of that page, to our IP, to our target's URL. So that's what is being happening here. So the attacker, and then it's going to give in this question mark kind of thing, and then it's going to be pasting in whatever responses that it captured from the this location from the server's end. It's going to be pasting it. Okay, for example, if I want to showcase what this exactly is doing, let me start a Python web server here. So I will say sudo python 3 -m http dot server on port 80. So it's serving on that particular port, right? So what this content is exactly doing is I will come here, and if I want to pass in some information that I know, but using a get method in HTTP, I can use this method here. So I will say HTTP and then my IP address, so 10.17.18.22, and some random name. So I will say Pranava. And if I want to pass in some information, so I will say question mark equals to. So it's basically trying to get this file name from the server, but then that exactly is not a file name, but then that's the information of the content that we want to be capturing from, because I can see that in the log here. So right now we are not able to see any log, but if I say hello, this is let's not have space in between, this is Pranava, and let's not have space. I am hacking. So I press enter. It says error response, which doesn't matter. It says 404. But then if I look at the request in my HTTP responses, whatever here I got, it says get, and then it says hello, whatever thing that I typed in there. So that's how I can get in the contents of the page, whatever is there in the PHP info page, into my HTTP browser here. So that's what this particular code is trying to do with the get method to get the information there. So I will copy this content and I will kill this particular Python instant, and then I will create a new folder called as exploit .js, because it's a JavaScript that I'm entering here. You can even see it from the hack tricks page. So they say it's a JavaScript. So .js, and I will paste in the content of whatever I modified it there, and then Control X, Y, and enter to exit out of the nano editor. So I have the exploit.js here. Now I will start again a Python server here to make sure I get all the requests, and I'm also able to host this exploit.js file for the server to basically interact with and then send the information to me. So http.server on port 80. So that's serving that port number there. Now let's modify my script in such a way that it's going to be trying to access this file, the JavaScript file, what I've saved in my local machine, to run in the web page there. So let's say script, and the source is going to be my address. So HTTP, and then my IP address 10.17.18.22, and the exploit.js file. So let's copy that and then paste it in here. So this is going to be my script. So whenever it runs in the web page, like how it did here, so it's going to be trying to run the JavaScript, whatever is located in my local host server. So that's what I'm trying to do it here. So let's close this and log out and register a new username with this content in here. And date of birth is, again, I was born just this year, so my date of birth, and submit query. Tell me how many of you all really enter your official date of birth in any of these sign up pages. I personally don't. I have a lot of ages. I am somewhere probably 100 years by now. So yeah, I'll click on the login page here, and let's generate a password for it. I'll paste in the username there. And then yeah, in my cyber chef, I'll replace whatever this content is here of script with this one, and bake, make sure that is the hash generated. So copy the password and paste it in here, and we are logged in. So looking at the request here, it has got our exploit.js, which means that it has run the contents of whatever is there in my exploit.js file. But then it says code 414 message URI is too long. So which means that whatever content we are trying to capture from the PHP info file is too long to be sent as a URL parameter. So we can cut it down with modifying our script. So I don't want everything that is there in the page. I just want whatever the PHP cookies that we get from here. So I want to filter out only the contents which I get after the PHP session ID, and then whatever is present there, I want that information. So we can do that. Let's modify our script. I have already modified the script in my blog post or my notes which I had made. I'll just copy the same thing so that we maintain some time and maintain some authenticity of the code. Let's where is it? It's sold down. Yeah, this is the modified code. So I will explain you what that exactly means in a second. So let's come down and paste this here. So what I'm doing is everything remains the same, which is trying to capture it from the server info.php file and then passing it to my location. So IP is also matching. So it's going to send it to me. And but here what I've done is, once it gets the response, I'm trying to modify the content to only match for the contents whatever I get after the PHP session ID. So I'm using the match function, and to say anything as a regular expression that I get till the new line end comes, I want the content to be saved under the variable called as cookie v. So, and then I'm saying if cookie v is present, so fetch it or give the get request back again to attacker, and then say cookie is equal to and whatever content you get from that cookie environment or whatever is present in that as a cookie. So I'm just trying to do that. So I'll copy this content which I've modified to only capture the cookie of it, kill this session, and then delete the exploit.js file and write another exploit.js. Oh, I had a spelling error in it. Good that I just copied it. So I'll put it in here, x, y, and enter. The T was misplaced. So I'll just copy this. Or you know what? I'll just modify it to exploit.js to exploit.js. So then I just have to refresh the page. Okay, so I'll start up the Python server once again and make sure everything is ready to listen for the incoming cookie request, whatever we'll get. So let's come back to the page here and make sure the internet is working. It's good. So what I will do is I'll just refresh. I refreshed it, which means that it has tried to capture my new exploit.js file, and I might get the cookie. So I get the cookie here. So the first response is the response that I get from the my browser itself. So if I come here and look at the contents here, I hope that is visible. It starts with 3 and ends with v. That's what is the cookie that we got initially. So that is the cookie of my web browser. The second response that I got is of the admin, is because this PHP file is whenever that admin logs in, this script runs for them too. So yeah, admin logged in once again, so we get the cookie of admin once again. So let's copy that and replace the value whatever is present in our browser to this to perform a session hijacking, and then refresh the page to see if we get any changes. So here we get our cross-site scripting page, the hacker one thing that we had, but then that should have not come up, but then that did come up, which means that we are the admin and we are able to see all the other users who are there. That's good. So we are the admin here. Congratulations. Okay, so that means that we can now access the admin.php file, right? So let's go and look at it here. Let's replace the index to admin.php and also add the HTTP header there. Good. So we are having that access to admin.php. Here it says test URL. So URL, what if I say HTTP and then my own IP address? So 17.18.22. What does that mean? So let's try to do that. Oh, which means that it's trying to access, or it can list or it can show whatever is present in a web page. Nice. Can I run the exploit.js? It says not found, but then I see the request to be somewhere here. So which means that I might be able to exploit this feature of this page, maybe to get a reverse shell, right? So that'll be good. So what I will do is let's have this running in the backend, but then I will open another terminal and create a shell for us to access this page. So I want this page to try to get a reverse shell to me. So I will say nano shell.php and press enter. And to generate a PHP shell, I will use a tool called as rev shell. It's the place where you can generate reverse shell payloads. So here I will say IP address is 10.17.18.22 and the port is 1234. Yeah, that's the port which I usually use. And then for the namesake, I want PHP. Sorry, not for the namesake. For the name, I want PHP. And on top itself, I get PHP pentest monkey. I will use the same thing. I'll just copy the content, whatever is there, and then paste it in here. I don't have to modify anything is because I've already specified the parameters that I want. So that would have modified by itself. I can see my IP address and the port number there. So that's good. So Control X, Y, enter to exit out of the nano editor. Now here what I will do is I will Also set up a listener, so nc-lvnp on port 1234. So if there are any incoming request on 1234 port number, listen to it. So now what I will do is come to the admin page and say, you page, can you browse to this IP address and this particular file and tell me, is that working? So shell.php, press enter. Let's see what happens. Oh, we get a reverse shell access. That's nice. That's cool. That's great. What do we have here? So we are in the root directory. So let's go to the home directory. ls. Oh, nothing. That's stage. There's no user in the system. Okay, let's go back to the root directory itself. What about lsla to see what are the other hidden folders? Straight away, we see that it's running in a Docker container. Okay. So which means that we'll have to exploit the user who is present in the target server also. So we are, whatever shell we got is of the Docker container only. Okay, that's fine. But then what next to do, right? We had also got some config.php file, right? So let's browse for it. So cd var and listing out the contents, we see the www page. So cd www ls, we see the html. So cd html ls. We have three folders: harming, ignoring. So let's just go through the other folders also. Let's go to ignoring that human orders or whatever it said. Let's copy this and paste it in here. ls. You know what I'm thinking? Let's upgrade our shell, because if I press Control C by mistake, I'm saying by mistake, the shell gets terminated, which I don't want it to happen. And again, my network is playing a good role here today, being a very good person for me. I hope that resolves this issue. I mean, list something here. I hope the connection is still alive. Let's click on submit query once again and hope this is alive. Okay. It seems everything seems to be a bit off. Let's click on submit query once again. Refreshing the network. Okay, you know what? Let's kill this. Start a new listener. And you, browse to this location. Yeah, we get the shell. Let's upgrade the shell now. So let's say script, and then qc, and then I will say bin bash, and whatever error you say, you just go to dev null. So that's one of the way of upgrading to the shells, and we get a better bash script shell. Now I wanted to make sure that I want this to be not terminating when I press on Control C. So I will exit. So I'll press Control Z. That's going to suspend the process. And then using stdy, I want to say raw echo, and then foreground whatever process is there. So stty raw echo and foreground it. Yeah, so we get back this shell again. So pressing enter did not respond, but then that should not be an issue as long as, oh no, let's just refresh this page to see we are able to access it. My network, no, it's working fine. So I guess the shell just got terminated, but for some reason. ls, oh, nothing is working. So let's, oh no, it's working here. Okay. There was some issue. Okay, fine. So we are able to see the page here now. Listing out the contents and looking at what and all are here. la, we see it's the Docker container, but then we were browsing to the var and then www html folder. We see ignoring. So cd ignoring, and this also has a tab completion, which is good. I love it. It says ignoring humans. Okay, what are you ignoring in humans? I want to know what it is. Orders, yeah. What is there in orders? Nothing? Seriously? lsla hyphen la. Oh no, ls hyphen la. Dot git keep. I might be a little too much interested with whatever this could be, but then let's see. There's no information with it. Okay, so let's go back so many directories to the page where we actually wanted to see something. The terminal is stuck. Okay, so the terminal is back alive again. So yeah, so let's go to the directory called as harm, where we had the configuration file. So cd harm, and then what is here? So to, yeah, harm to self itself, I know. Yeah, cd self. What is here now? So configuration.php. So let's print that out. So let's say cat config.php and look at what contents does it have. So it's a PHP file, and straight away I see a server name, database, and robots dot is the username. Sorry, it's robots is the username, and we get the password of it. Oh, that's good. So let's put that in our loots here. I create a section called loots whenever I find such usernames and passwords. So I will say database is found. So database configuration file is found. We found the username and the password of it. So let's copy the username, whatever we found, and then the password. Okay, so copy the password. So what database is this? So current host is this host and HTTP there, and desired host name. Okay, if this is not the redirect to the location. Okay, some information, but then we don't know what database is that running exactly, right? We just see the database name is to be web. Okay, fine. So which means that can I access it from here? I can try it with MySQL if that's possible. So let's say MySQL, and host is this host, whatever it is. So what is the IP of it? Machine is expiring soon. Oh, okay, let's add an R. Good that we came to this page. So let's copy it, and then oh, it has been an hour. Okay, so let's copy it and then paste it here. So let's say user is the user robots, and then okay, we can even specify for the password here. Let's copy the password, and oh, it gives the same error, which means can't connect to the server. So that server doesn't host any database there. Okay, that seems fair. But then let's just check where does the database is hosted. So getend is a tool which is popularly found for looking at what hosts are connected to what. It has a database of what and all services are running. So I will say getnet. I want hosts which are running DBs. So anything that is running a server name called as database DB, I want to know what address it is hosted at. So it says 172.18.0.2, which means it's an internal IP address that this system is hosted at, and this current session that we have got access into, that is having information, or is able to access it. So let's look at the host file. So I'll say cat etc host. What is this running at? So this is running at 172.0.3, and it's having robots.thm and robots as its domain name. With the internal is internal is localhost. So this is hosted at this IP address, which means that this might have an access to the 172.18.0.2. So let's just see if I'm able to ping that. I just want one as a count. Ping is disabled. Okay, whatever. So am I having MySQL in this itself? So MySQL, is it there? Let's just do with the version name. MySQL is not present. Okay, so but then that database is present and is accessible to this particular host or this Docker container because it's there in the same subnet there. Okay, so what can we do? So in such situations, what we can try to think of is to have a tunnel set up, a reverse tunnel for this host to connect to our own system. And then because there's no MySQL also installed in this, so there are no popular tools or anything that we can interact with. So it can provide us with a reverse connection to one of its own possible IP address or the files or services that it can access into our system. So to perform such things, we use a tool called as Chisel. So Chisel is not the chisel one which the carpenters use for filing in or that would work whatever they do, but then a chisel is a tool which can be used for generating a reverse tunnel connection into the systems. So you can go to GitHub and find that tool. So I will say no, not here. Let's go to GitHub. This is the browser. Yeah. So I will search for chisel. Chisel GitHub. That would be the better search, because if I just search for chisel, I'll get all the carpentry stuff. So yeah, to this page you can go here and even download the binary code what we'll be using today. You can come under the installation section and the latest releases. Here what you can do is you can search for the one which might be useful for you. So I personally chose Linux AMD because that's what I'm using. So AMD 64 for with the this .gzip file. So you can download that. I'll have a link in the description or in my blog post where there'll be description about how do you install it and how do you run it and all those things. So I'll not showcase that there since I already have that in my own machine here. So let's browse to that. Pranava Rao tools, Dockers. So here I have a tool called as Chisel. So I will be using this Chisel file to my target system here. So I will download it here and then try to get a reverse connection to that. Now to perform this exploit successfully, what we need to do is we need to host this Chisel file even in the target system. So the target system should act as a client to provide a reverse connection, and our attacker machine as a server to receive all those reverse connections. So first thing that I will do is I'll copy that file content, whatever is there, into this target system. So I will kill this Python instance there and then go to Pranava Rao tools and then Dockers, and then host a Python server here. So Python 3-m http.server and then port 80. And in my target system, I will go to the temp directory. So temp. Okay. I guess I lost connection with the target system. So let me wait for a second. The system seems to be not interacting with me. I hope other things are at least interacting with me. Oh no, no, I'm able to interact. So which means that only this is an issue. So ls, nothing is interacting with me here. Oh no, my internet itself is a little unstable for some reason. I'll just refresh it here. That is good. So if I refresh this page, oh, it's working now. So can I interact with you, buddy? Can I please don't terminate here? I'm able to interact with you here, robots.txt. Yeah, I am. So it's a matter of few seconds that this page starts to interact with me. Okay, yeah, it's here. So ls, I'm into the temp directory. All that I did was to say cd/temp. Somewhere along here, it just got typed in. Yeah, so cd temp. That's what you need to be doing. So once you're here, all that I have to do is to try and download the Chisel file into the system. So I will copy the the file name. Come on, just delete that. Okay, so what I will say is wget http and then my IP address. So 10.17.18.22 and then the file name that I copied. Press enter. So it says wget is not found. Okay, what about curl? Can I use curl? curl curl, and then I will say http / the IP address. No, let's copy the IP address in the file name. So let's copy this, and then I want it to be saved under the temp itself, and I want the file name to be chisel itself. So press that enter, and that downloads the file from our target system. You can see it here. So let's give it a second. Yeah, seriously, there's some issue because it's taking a lot of time for. How big is the file? File chisel. It's lsla or ll. yeah, this is not a big file to take so much time. So there's some kind of issue with my uh network here. That's why it's taking so much time. So let's give it the time. Okay, so after 50 whole seconds, I downloaded it here. So I can see the file chisel to be present here. Yeah, so that's good. So now what we'll do is we will start a server here. So I will say dot chisel and then hyphen hyphen help. It's going to show you all what are the two things that it can do, which is to act as a server or as a client. So I will say chisel, then server, and then I also wanted to give a reverse connection. So I will say reverse, or if I can spell it right, reverse, and then I will say I want for the port 12345. So that is the port number that I wanted to be listening for any incoming request. Now I'll just close or minimize that window. Here I have chisel, so I will modify it to be an executable file. So x plus x and then say chisel. Now I'll say chisel act as a client. So client, and then to the target IP address, which is mine 10.17.18.22 to the port number 12345. Here I also have established a reverse connection. So I want a reverse connection to the port number 3306. So that's the default port number of any database that is hosted. So they are going to be in this port number. And this port number should be captured from the earlier port number what we captured where the database is hosted. So 172.18.02 is going to be the database. So I'll paste in that IP address for the same port number where it is hosted. So by pressing this, I think by pressing enter, that connects to us, and yes, it is connected here. That's good. So I'll kill this Python instance. We don't need that anymore. And I'll try to log in to the MySQL server. So MySQL host, and I'll say my local host address is 127.0.1. And then U is the robots user. So then the password comes in here. So now let's ask for the password. What is here? Let's copy. It's my bad. I just got confused here. So yeah. So providing it with the password gives us access to the MariaDB here. I can see it from that. Okay, so what are the databases present here? Let's see that. So show databases, bases. I see two databases. One is web. So I'll say use web. Let's make sure it's case sensitive. Yeah, now I'll say show tables. Show tables. What is there here? It says users and login. So select star from logins. Let's just see what is there. Okay, these are all the login user names and all we created. Okay, so it says admin and then hacker and all those times that we logged in. So what about the users? So select star from users. Oh, okay. So here we see an admin user. It says group admin, and whatever this username is, and no login. Oh, okay, that's great. Hacker is the user that we just signed up, and so this is the mysterious user what we found. That's good. Okay, so we got another username from the database, right? So let's say uh, users from the database. So we get a username. Let's put it here, username, and then the password is this one. So whatever this hash is. So let's paste that hash in there. So my question is, can I log in with this? Can I log into SSH with that? So let's open another terminal and say SSH to this user. Okay, where is it? Yeah, use user. Oh, that's the password. So there's 3 in that. Okay, let's copy this one. I'll add in, we need to remove that anyway. So SSH username at robots.thm. Okay. And for the password, let's copy this. Let's copy this and then paste it back again. Permission denied. Please try again, which means the password is wrong. Okay, that's it's interesting. So why is the password wrong? Is there anything connection that we need to do? That's what was the rabbit hole which I went down personally, which I noticed after some times, because when I initially went down, did not have so many users, is because I took many days to solve it. I did not do it in one go like how I'm doing here. So what I see here is that even this hash, okay, let's just go to our browser window where we had generated the hash. So this is the script, whatever is here, right? So of the exploit.js, we have the same user here. If I copy this hash, it's nowhere matching to what we initially had generated. So I don't know, let me remove this. How do I compare it? So let's put it in the operations here. So I'll just put it there. So if you see, let's bake it once again. It is not matching the hash which I had entered initially, right? So which came to a thought, what if this output, whatever I get as a hash as a password, is once again hashed? So I replace that content and bake it once again. There we see that is somewhat matching here, but not exactly it. Maybe I just modified something wrong, but then yeah, this exploration got me into thinking that what if this hashed password, whatever I got, is hashed once again? So which means that I can try to find for the original password what was used for creating for this user. If I get to know what was the user's username, which I already have here, but then what was their date of birth, right? Because that was the logic which was used for generating the usernames and password. Now, I did not get to know this suddenly. I did my own rabbit holes. I tried to look for some other contents and try to log in with the page and all those things. I did my own thing, but then I don't want you to be sitting here with me for a few days to solving this, right? So I'll copy this. I know what exactly happened. So, I mean, I'll not paste it there. I'll just copy this. After I got to know that this is how we are supposed to be doing, I generated a Python code for automating the process of finding or brute forcing for the username's date of birth. So I can come down here somewhere. I had generated with the help of chat GPT. Yeah, this is the Python script which I created. So let's come back to this terminal here and then browse to the location where I've saved all the contents on the YouTube and robots. So here I will create a file called as python.py. I'll paste in the content here. So what this exactly is doing is pretty simple. First is to import the hash lib, which is to generate hashes, and then a sys module. So it's importing all those libraries and modules for us to interact with. Then what it's doing is it's saying crack. It's calling in this function with the arguments what we'll be providing. So whatever system arguments that I'll be providing, it's going to be using that as the input. So we need to be inputting the username and the hash of whatever user that we get. So then it's going to be creating its own loop for date and range. So dates from 1st to 31st, for month in range from 1st to 12 months, and it's going to combine a password for it. So it's going to take the username from the function call, and then it's going to be having a 2-character, like it's going to add 0 if there is no character in front of it, and then same for the month. So until unless it's a 2-digit, it's going to be adding 0 in front of it. So that's what I'm calling in here as a password, and then password hashed. So I want to hash the password once so that we get the password which was initially used for logging into the web application. So I am hashing it. So the function of hashing is there. then if condition, so to make sure that whatever we uh, generate as a password matches with the hash that we are supplying. So the hash which I'm providing in here is from the database, which is already hashed twice. So I'm just making sure that the hashing of the username that whatever I get is matching the hash of whatever is saved in the database. So it's just doing that comparison, and if it finds, it finds, and it's going to give us that output. So that's what is this Python code doing. So I will run this Python 3 Python code here with the username to be this username, and the password to be this password. Now, how does this work? I initially tested with my own username that I have here. So a hacker here, and paste it in there, and then copy this username, space, enter. So it says the same thing whatever I found out, right? So it is having the same original password and all those information. So that gave me a promising result that this will be okay if I try to brute force it for this user and this password. So paste that in here, and we straight away find the user's password here. So this was the initial username and the date of birth which was used by the user for registering, and this is the password which was generated for that user. Let's now use that and try to see if we can perform a SSH login into that user. So let's come here and say password to use, and then paste that content there. So let's say SSH whatever that username is. I'll not even try to pronounce it, at robots.thm. And then for the password, let's copy this itself and then paste it in there. Are we logged in? Oh, yes. So we have logged in successfully. That's great. So ls, what? ls, la? No user flag? I mean, we compromised this user. Oh, that's strange. That's bad. Okay, another rabbit hole which we need to be going now. So cd, going a folder back, we see 3 users to be present. Whatever that user is, with starting with D in the beginning, permission denied, we can't access it. So what about cd into whatever that user with V, permission denied. Okay, so we can't access it. So what to do next? To go to the root directory and list out the contents. Okay, nothing that we can do. But then initially what we do is, like, I thought, okay, maybe what if I can become a sudo user, right? So I'll say sudo -l. L is a command which you can do for listing out what are the permissions that we have as a sudo user. So by pressing sudo -l, it asks for my password. Let's give it the password, and it says that the user, whatever this is with the starting letter D, can run curl for the local host without requiring any password for the user. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I mean, genuinely, that's nice. So my thought came in here. Okay, if that's the case, what can we do with curl? So curl is, we are using a lot of curl for this challenge here. So if I go with curl, this is not shown here exactly, but then if I go to the man page of curl, man of curl, and if I search for, here, I hope this is how we search for. So if I search for file, curl has an option to look for some files. So it can load up files also, read files or write local files. So with the options of file, so curl does not support accessing files remotely, but then when running on Microsoft or whatever, it will work. So but then what happens is that I can specify a certain file, and then what if I output whatever content I had in that file to another file? So yeah, I use a lot of file in my words, but then what I mean is, what if I say curl, whatever content you have in your directory, you or whatever I point as a directory, you save it somewhere else. I'll tell you why I'm telling that, because there is no way that I can try to become that user and enumerate further. The only other option that I thought of could be, what if I get an SSH access into this user itself? How do I get a SSH access? By creating a SSH authorized keys for accessing it. So it comes with a little bit of background knowledge about how SSH works, but then you can, if you have authorized keys, you don't require passwords to log into that username. So you're saying that, hey, for any of this private keys matching this public key, they don't require passwords to log in into me. So it's kind of a security feature also, but then we are using it as a thing to exploit here. Okay, so what I will do is I'll go to the temp directory because that's accessible to every user that is present in the system. So under the temp directory, I will create a SSH login key for us. So I'll say SSH keygen. So keygen, and then I will say RSA. So that's the way of generating a public key. So I guess that's the command. So keygen RSA would be the right thing, I guess. So whatever. Okay, I need to create, right? Yeah. So SSH. Oh no, come back. So I need to choose an option to generate one. So that information is somewhere here, I guess. Hyphen M, sorry, not I, hyphen M. So that is going to generate a file. So unknown supported. How do I generate one? Okay, let me just go through my notes. I had googled it basically. Don't blame me. So yeah, T option T. So where is T here? Let's just look at it. Where is T? I don't see T anyway. Okay, so SSH keygen hyphen T RSA. So it's going to be generating that pair. So just say ID RSA. I want it to be in this folder itself. So I will say ID RSA. It's going to be saving that files in this folder. So it has generated by searching LSLA. I see the two files to be here. So ID RSA and ID RSA public, which is good, amazing. So what I will do is now I'll say sudo as user or whatever that was. Let's just copy that user once again. So sudo L. This user starting with the capital with the letter D, not capital. Sorry. So I will say sudo curl. Sorry, sudo user this, and then I will say curl into 127.0.0.1 and star or whatever that is, and then I will say output this to temp. I don't want that results to be shown on my terminal here. So temp, and then I will give some file name to it. I'll say hacker. Now what I will do is I'll say file, and then I'll say of the temp directory, and I want this ID RSA public key to be saved. Oh God, it's not interacting with me. It's not interacting with me. Oh, I have to refresh the network once again. It's good that it's SSH, so that whatever thing I want to type is just going to be here itself. The connection is not compared to any other shells. SSH shells are more stable compared to it. So okay, so temp, and then I will paste in that file that I wanted, and I want the output to go to the home directory of whatever this user with the starting letter D is, and then I will say .ssh and give it a name saying authorized underscore keys. So those are all the authorized keys. Anyone having this key will be able to access the session of this particular user without requiring any password for them to log in. So pressing enter, that did it. So it copied it there. So what I will do is I'll open another side-by-side window, and then I'll also cat out the contents of the ID RSA file. This is the private key which we can use. So let's copy that. And here I will say nano ID underscore RSA, then paste whatever content is there, X, Y, and enter to exit out of it. So I have the ID RSA file here. So I'll say SSH I, which is to use the file to log in, and then to the a user with the starting letter D. Where is it? Copy here, paste it here, and then say robots.thm. THM. Yeah, yeah. So no passwords, and I should be logged in. Come on with the crossed fingers. Come on. Login, 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 login. Login. Come on, yaar. Come on. Don't disappoint me now. Oh, maybe issue with the network. Yeah, now at least. Let's kill that. Let's try once again. Okay, that's unprotected private key file. So the RSA are too open. Okay, so let's change the permission. So let's say chmod and then say 600 to give it the right permission, because it's now taking the permission of the user which created this user. So let's say let's change the permissions of that and now try to log in. Come on. Yes, so we logged in. That's good. That's good. So yes, we get the user flag. So cat user.txt. And there we go. We get the user flag right away. Nice. What about the root flag now, right? So that's our aim. So looking at the other contents, anything there, looking at the other users, can I go to this other user with starting letter V? Permission denied. No. Okay, let's come back to our home directory and running. I just tried to clear my window. That did not work. It's stuck. Okay, so finally the terminal is interacting with me again. So I will say ls. We get the user flag only, but then when I run the sudo l option, here I see that I don't have to type in any password. I'll be able to interact as a root user if I can interact with Apache 2, which was a little painful for me because I did not know what to do with Apache to exploit it. I did a lot of searching. I did a lot of Googling about Linux privilege escalation, privilege escalation, escalation. Don't mind my spelling. Apache 2 with Apache 2. Anyway, Google will understand that. Yeah. So I did a lot of searching about what to do and how do I exploit or go with anything like that, but was of no useful. But somewhere I found about Apache 2 exploit or Apache 2 reading directories with reading directories of config files. So after a bit of searching and all, obviously I took a lot of time. I was stuck here. So after searching of all such information, I found out that if I run the Apache file, so if I say sudo, so sudo Apache 2, let's copy that itself, Apache 2, and then say help. I will print that command here. I don't have the password, so let's kill that and let's say sudo this Apache 2, and let's say some help or something like that. So here it says directories. Yeah, so I wanted to search for that itself. So if I search for Linux Apache 2 directives config exploit, basically exploit. So what happens is I can read for contents here. I don't know if this is the right blog post that I found out, but then after a lot of searches, after a lot of going through it, what I found out is that Apache, whenever you run this script, if it is not a configuration file, it's going to print out whatever content was present inside that. So what I mean is, so if I say, I'll copy the above command itself here and then paste it in here and replace that help thing with with hyphen C, and then I will say include this. So I'm saying include whatever content is present in the root, and then root.txt file. Include that as a configuration file. So if I press enter, it gives me some error on my screen. So let's just run this once again and see what the error is in the full screen. So it says content cannot be shown because the configuration this is not defined. So let's define that also. So Apache run dir. So let's say sudo above command itself. Before that, I will say another hyphen C. So hyphen C, I'll say this to temp directory and whatever location is. Okay, so temp is going to be a good file, and pressing enter. No. Why did that happen? Let me just go through my notes because I don't know how do I use that exactly. I just found it from some blog post. I should say define. Okay, so I need to define it there. Yeah. So running the above command itself, let's copy this and then paste it here. And I'll modify this thing to say define. So yeah. So define and then press enter. And there we go. So we get the root flag here. So what basically this is doing is that it's the nature of Apache to only print out the configuration files when it is not matching with the format and all those things of the configuration file of Apache. So it's like trying to read that configuration file of it. Now, how did I get to know? I'll link down the blog post or whatever that was related to this, which I found out. It'll be in the blog post. You can check that out in the link or in the description below, or you can browse to pranavarao.tech, pranavarao.tech, and you will be finding the blog post of it there. So it's the place where you can go and find all my blogs and about me and all those things. There's something surprising here. If you have stuck till here, there's something surprising in this decoded version of it. So you can check that out too. So that's your choice. So, okay then, to people who have stuck till here, I just have a small gift to you all here. So it's basically my store.cyberpranava, where our company is launching merchandise and all those cool hoodies, water bottles, and caps, stickers, all for you all to purchase from there. It also has a cool gaming mouse pads, which all you can use. With this code, you will get a 10% off. That is it. So thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking till here. I would like to end this video by saying hack YouTube's algorithm in an ethical manner. Of course, ethical way, or else you'll get those nice shiny silver bracelets, which I try to avoid getting from. But then, yeah, you hack YouTube's algorithm by hitting that like button, hitting on that subscribe button, and commenting down below on how you liked it. Do all those YouTube stuff, and let's tune in some other time for another video. So till then, stay safe, stay smiling. Bye bye.